Good morning. We are so excited for our final day of Earth Week JA Career Speakers. We are here today at Phil Foster Park, and I have with me Deputy Pollock. We are so excited. Do I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, perfect. We are so excited to learn a little bit about the work that the Sheriff's Office does here protecting our water. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. So what do we have going on here today?
Well, I work for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office specifically in the Marine Unit. We are police officers, but our primary area of focus is on the water. We can still enforce everything on land, and we can do traffic stops and respond to calls, but we are assigned specifically to the Marine Unit. So our main job is to drive around on boats, enforce the laws, to help people, save people's lives, and then the other aspect is we do search and recovery diving also.
Excellent. So you have quite the team with you here
yes,
today.
we have
you?
Some of the guys that I work with are here with me today. We have Sergeant Strong and then some others that are going to deal with an issue that's going on in the park right now.
All right, no problem. So you get to work, you check in. What does your day look like?
Well, as a Marine Unit deputy, we have 3 different shifts that we can work, and we rotate through the shifts. So one shift starts at 5 o'clock in the morning, the next shift starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we have a night shift that starts at 5:30 in the evening and goes to 5:30 in the morning. So, and we all rotate through each one of those shifts, so we all take turns, so no one gets stuck on working night shift. Or
don't always have to wake up at 5.
No,
be at work at 5 a.m.
Like I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to get to work and everything. So we report here, and we come in here and we meet up with our partner who's going to be working with us for the day, and then we just decide. We talk to the bosses to see if there's anything special going on, and if there's nothing special going on, we just come out and we pick one of the boats that we have here at the office.
So this is your office?
Our main office is over there, but really my job is to get on one of these boats and drive around, and that is my office, is being out on the water and driving around and helping people.
So you check in with your partner, you get on board. And what are you looking for as you patrol the waters?
We're looking for anything and everything. It's not necessarily that we're looking for people doing bad things. We're looking for people breaking the laws. We're looking for people possibly trying to smuggle something into the country, whether it be drugs or humans. We're also looking to help with boaters in distress. If they break down, their boat is sinking. We look for fishing violations. We do a little bit of everything. We're just on the water, and instead of driving around in a patrol car, I get to drive around in a very nice boat.
How did you get involved?
Well, I was born and raised here in Palm Beach County, and at a young age, I was very involved in boating and scuba diving. And so when I became a law enforcement officer, it was just a natural extension for me to want to be on the water. So once I had been here you have to be in the Sheriff's Office for 2 years, and then you can apply if there's an opening to be in the Marine Unit. And it was just a natural extension of what I did as growing up as a kid. And so I fit right in, and I've been here in the Marine Unit for quite some time now and really enjoy it.
You know, when we work with students, we often tell them to find things that you're passionate about, find things that you're good at and that you enjoy doing, that make your heart happy, and pursue a career in that industry. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
That's exactly what happened. There's plenty of days where I come to work, and yeah, technically I'm coming to work, but it doesn't feel like work because I'm coming out here, I'm doing what I love. I save people's lives. Every day on the water is something different, whether it's helping somebody or stopping drug smugglers or just someone that's broken down. It just completely runs the gamut of things we do. And because we're not assigned to any one particular area of the county, I have the whole county. The coast of Palm Beach County is 48 miles long, so I can go anywhere within that 48 miles, whether it's in the ocean, whether it's in intercoastal. I can go out to Lake Okeechobee. We can go to the freshwater lakes and ponds. There's just a whole range of different places that I can go and do.
So we have a beautiful day here today, but what about on days that are not so beautiful?
Well, those are not the fun days, because like when it's pouring rain or if there's hurricanes or it's really cold out, we still go out. We try to limit the amount of exposure, but the bosses said they buy us really expensive rain gear, so put your rain gear on.
So it's not every day is sunny.
No, it's definitely not all sunny, and it's definitely it can be extremely rough out there. And Do we just go around and drive around when there's 10-foot waves? Not necessarily, but if someone is in distress or someone breaks down, we go out there, and that's what they do. They pay us to go out there and deal with the bad times to help people. And so that's why when we have a beautiful day like today, it makes it worth it, because now we're getting sun, it's nice and cool out, and we're just having a good day. So
excellent. So our boys and girls out there, often they say that they want to be a police officer or they want to be part of the fire department. To get to have a position with the Marine Unit, what type of schooling or skills or training would they have to go through?
To be in the Marine Unit specifically, like I said earlier, you have to be a law enforcement officer, and we're employed with the Sheriff's Office, and you have to do a minimum of 2 years as a regular deputy on the road, driving around in a patrol car and handling patrol calls. Once you have that 2 years of experience, once there's an opening in the Marine Unit, then you can apply. Now, to apply for the Marine Unit, you have to have a minimum of basic open water scuba diving, and that's just to make sure that you're comfortable in the water and you have the basic skills to do what we need to do. Any prior boating experience helps if you have the opportunity to drive boats. But then there's other times we've had members in the past that came in they did not know how to swim. They were taught how to swim.
Kind of important.
It is kind of, and that's part of when you apply here. We have a swim test that you have to pass, but they would put in an application and then get with somebody and learn how to swim, and then get their basic open water just so they could be in the Marine
So
Unit.
even if you don't have that skill right away, there's training and coaching that you can get along the way if that's your goal.
Correct. If that's your goal, set your goals, and you can do things to help get you there and strive for that. But the minimum is the basic open water and to be able to swim. But then once you get selected to come here, we teach you. You go to schools for probably the first 4 or 5 years, constantly back and forth, to teach and learn everything that is required to do the job that we do.
And we spoke earlier, the training doesn't end there.
It never ends.
Never ends. So you're always learning new techniques.
Correct. I mean, there's always something new to learn. When we have new members come in and they spend time with a senior deputy or a trainer, and their job is to learn from the trainer. But it's as a trainer, you always find something that you can learn from the people that you're training and everything. It's every day. You always have to look at every day as a learning experience. You can always learn something new, something every single day from everybody.
Yeah, we all have something to give, don't we?
Yes.
Excellent. So what other positions are available within the Marine Unit?
Well, the Marine Unit, like I said before, there's 12 sworn deputies, there's 3 sergeants, and then a lieutenant in charge of us. But then we have a very large support staff to make sure everything is working properly. We have an administrative secretary, and then we also have, because we actually have, I think, 35 to 40 boats. Now, those range from, we have 6 jet skis, then we have the big ocean-going boats, and we have 4 airboats and everything else. And so to make everything work, we have to have a large support staff. So we have what we call a Marine Unit shop, and there's a person in charge of that, and then there's 4 full-time mechanics that get certified to work on our specific engines and to maintain the boats. And then and then because of all the stuff that we have to have parts specialists and we have to have administrative specialists. So just because if you don't want to be a deputy on the water, you can still come and spend time and get a job helping do the things that allow us to go out on the boat every day. Because if I break a boat now, all I have to do is pick up the phone, call one of the shop manager, and usually within 30 minutes or an hour, they've brought another boat to replace the boat that they're going to take away so they can go fix it and turn it around. And so we always have what we need to get our job done, and we can't do it without everybody working together.
Sounds like a team.
It is definitely a team effort.
Absolutely. So what kind of skills do you think someone should have or work on to come into this position?
Well, I think
kind of qualities.
You need to be comfortable around people. To be a law enforcement deputy, you have to be able to want to help people. I think that's the number one thing is most people do not get into law enforcement for I don't know what the reasons why they do, but a lot of us get into it because they just really want to help people. And I'm proud of the fact that I've gotten a lot of life-saving awards over the point of my career, more so than I put people in jail recently.
So it fills your heart.
Because I would much rather help somebody than put somebody in jail. So.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about tools and equipment. Can you show us some of the different tools and equipment that you use?
So we're like I said, we're just like regular deputies, except for I get to wear a completely different uniform from everybody else. I get to wear shorts when it's warm out and sneakers. When in the winter, I'll wear long pants. We wear a different top, and we wear an external ballistic vest carrier, so I can put all the equipment on it. So I still wear a body camera. I still have a radio, and then the regular duty belt. The pouches that I have right here, if you see right here, these are actually my life preservers. Just because I'm on a boat and I'm a police officer doesn't mean I don't have to follow the rules and I don't have to try to be safe, because wearing all this extra gear adds probably 30 pounds to my normal weight and everything. And so if I were to fall in the water, whereas normally you could probably swim back up to the surface, if you're wearing a lot of extra weight, you need to have extra buoyancy and be able to save yourself. So I wear everything a regular deputy wears, but I actually have buoyancy protection or life saving, or I'm drawing a blank on it.
Like a life jacket.
A flotation device on me at all times if I were to fall in the water. Now I do carry extra knives and things like that, but that's just because I deal with a lot of fishing lines and lines on the thing, and that way if I were to get in a position where I could only use one hand, I always have a knife to be able to reach to be able to cut the lines if I need to. What we have right here, this is some of the gear that we use when we go diving. This is a full face mask that we wear, so that way we can obviously breathe in the water, but then it's a full face mask so we can actually communicate. There's a microphone and headphones in there, so I can communicate with the other divers or the people on shore, so they can direct the diver where they need to go or what they need to do. And then you have the scuba tank, and then and a buoyancy control device that we wear while we're diving. And there's more gear. This is just a little bit of what we brought out to show you guys.
Awesome. So I just checked the chat, and we do have a question
Okay.
from one of our classes. They want to know about your best day ever, and also maybe your most challenging day ever.
I would say probably the most a very challenging day was we ended up stopping a boatload. It was a human smuggling a venture that was going on, and we ended up stopping the boat, and it was probably 15 miles out in the ocean. It was fairly rough. It was probably 4 to 6 foot seas, so we were rocking back and forth. And when we stop a boat offshore with what are suspected people trying to be smuggled into the country, we keep them offshore, and we have to hold them there until the U.S. Coast Guard sends a cutter. It usually has to come up from Miami. Well, the cutter was not available, and long story short, we were 15 miles offshore, and I ended up staying out there for about 18 hours before they finally were able to take the immigrants off the boat and transform it. Yeah. And so it was probably a 20-hour workday with rough seas. And when I got home and I laid down in bed, and I still felt like I was rocking back and forth, and the whole world was still spinning because I'd been doing that. So that was a very long day,
especially out in the hot Florida sun.
And the hot Florida sun. Mm-hmm. It actually started in the middle of the night, and then I didn't even have my sunglasses on because it started in the middle of the night, and then now I have to deal with it during the day. So that was a very long, trying day. Others we've had.
Best day ever. You went home and you were like, that was it.
Best day
this is why I do the work that I do.
That's a question that doesn't get asked very often.
You save lives. So. There has to be a time when you save someone's life.
Well, and that's originally what came to mind. But for that person, it wasn't a great day because. So I'll give you an example. 2 people were snorkeling offshore. One ended up going unconscious. They called us. I was close by in the area. I ran out there. We pulled the person on the boat. They were not breathing. They did not have a pulse. We started doing CPR, get them back, turn them over to the fire department, and they ended up living. I ended up getting an award for that and everything. So that sounds
like the best day ever.
Well, it's a very satisfying day, and that I did a good job and I saved someone's life. But it was also very traumatic in the beginning because someone was in jeopardy. Their lives were in jeopardy, and I had to spring into action to do it. But the outcome was wonderful.
So why don't we talk a little bit about our boats out here?
Okay.
And I see there's different types of boats. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Okay. So what we do is we have lots of different boats depending on what we're doing. So like I said before, we have 6 personal watercraft, jet skis, whatever terminology you want to use, and we use those for specific tasks when we're patrolling around Peanut Island or something like that. We have smaller boats that get into the really shallow waters. We have airboats that when we we have to, if someone goes missing or someone gets lost, or if there's a plane crash out in the swamp or the Everglades, we'll get those boats out because we can run through grass and very, very shallow water without getting clogged up. And so we have those. What we have here, these are 4 ocean-going boats that we have. These are what we primarily patrol in along the coast and on the intercoastal. And they range different, and they have different. There's no perfect boat out there, so each boat has positives and negatives about what we do. So the first boat we have over here, that's a 33-foot boat, and it has a fire pump on it that we've used in the past when if there's a fire on the water, we can turn the pump on, and we'll usually get the fire department to come on the boat with us, and so they can run their fire pump. But that's a boat, and that boat is really good. It's really fast. That boat's good for a lot of tasks. The next boat we have here, this white one, back to the first boat is called a soft-sided boat. It's a foam-filled collar, and they have foam filled and they have air. This is a foam filled one. So you can pull up to things and bump into things and not damage the boat or whatever you're bumping into. Whereas this boat, the next boat over, is a white boat. This boat it's a hard-sided boat. It's made out of fiberglass, so you have to be a lot more careful when you're pulling up to docks or pulling up to other boats that you don't damage your boat or whatever you're pulling up to and everything. But the difference is this boat is it's got with a sharper angle on the hull of the boat, which makes it a little bit easier and runs in rough water better. So if it's really rough offshore, I might want to pick this boat or over the first boat, just because it handles the rough water where my knees and my ankles and everything don't hurt as bad. Now, both of these are open boats. The curtains are down on that one, but they're open boats. So if it's raining, we're going to get wet. The boat that we have, a cabin boat that has a full enclosed cabin, and it has air conditioning. So on a hot day, or if it's really, really raining really hard, we can close up the cabin and we can stay dry and be able to do our job. And then the third boat that we have over here is very similar to the first one. It's got a soft collar on it, so we don't have to worry about banging into things. And if you guys want to walk over here, we'll take a look at the last boat we have over here. Just watch your stuff right there. So this boat is it's a soft-sided boat. So it's a foam collar. And I'm going to get on it, but if you guys want to come down a little further, I'll be able to show you a few of the different features of this boat. So if you see, this boat actually has 4 seats. Now each one of these seats, they're shock seats. So they're actually on shock absorbers. So as you're hitting a wave, the seat goes up and down. I can't get it to move right now because I'm just standing next to it. But so it's supposed to take some of the pressure off of our knees and our back and our spine. And so they go up and down as you're hitting the waves. So this one's nice because it has 4 seats. It has handles so people can hold on to it, because this boat will do probably 70 miles per hour with a whole bunch of people on it. And so when we have to go a long distance, it's good to have everybody sitting down and holding on to something as opposed to standing and floating around. This one has triple engines on the back. Those are 400 engines. This piece right here is what they call, this is nothing but a big line. So if someone were to break down, or if someone needed help, I could actually deploy this line over that bar back there, hook it to their boat, then I can tow them back in the inlet, or I can tow them to a place that's safe, so then we can get them the help that they need. This boat has multiple screens, so I can look at the depth of the water. I can look at my GPS positions. I can tell my speed. It has radar on it. That's what the big white thing is up top. It's a radar that spins around that shows me, and I can adjust the strength of it to see distances and pick up other boats and targets offshore or in the inside. It has all the blue lights and the sirens, just like everything, like a regular patrol car does. And one of the great things is when we turn the blue lights on, then my body camera automatically turns on no matter what I'm doing. So, but that's nice. And then we have computer stands, just like in a regular patrol car, where you would have the deputies or the police officers have a computer that they get dispatch calls from that, and they type their reports and they answer things. This boat has 2 of them. There's one in the front, and then there's another one in here in the back, where we still bring our computers out here. And so if we get dispatched to a call, all the information will come up on the screen. We can look at it, get phone numbers and things like that off of that information. We have a lot of life-saving equipment on board. oxygen. We have an AED, so if someone were to have a heart problem and the heart's not in the right rhythm, we can apply the AED to them. And it's got fans because it gets kind of hot at times, so we can try to cool off. So this is one. This is a larger one of our boats. It's oh, another thing was this. All of our boats have lots of cameras on them, so we all wear a body camera. But then this boat, this boat, and all of our other boats, they have cameras on the side, so they film whenever the boat is turned on. They're filming. They don't record audio, but they film everything that we do. So there's a camera in the front. There's one on this side. There's one on the other side, and then there's another one in the back. So it captures all the angles and everything. So a lot of times when we, if we're doing a boat stop, or if there's a boat crash, or if someone says, "Oh, this deputy did this," or they did that, everything is recorded. There's no, you can't lie. The cameras don't lie and everything, and we have nothing to hide, and everything is filmed. And it's been nothing but positive for us to have the cameras.
So I know a question that a lot of students have: how fast can this boat go?
This boat specifically, I think I've gotten this boat up to, I think, 73 miles per hour, and that was with 8 adults on board and all the fuel and all the equipment. This one does about 73. Every boat is slightly different, but this one does about 73, which is really fast on the water.
Sure.
You don't really want to be going that fast unless it's nice and smooth and calm, because if not, you're gonna take a beating and everything.
So you also spoke about how it's really important to work as a team, and you mentioned some other agencies. Are there other organizations that you collaborate with?
Yeah, on a daily basis, we work hand in hand with the United States Coast Guard. We work hand in hand with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and specifically the Office of Air and Marine, which is their boating branch. And then we also work a lot with all the local municipalities and agencies that have their own boats or the Marine units. For an example, Jupiter has several boats, North Palm has a boat, Riviera Beach has a boat, West Palm has several boats, and we work hand in hand with them, they help us, we help them, because we can't, there's a lot of county a lot of area to cover, but we all can't be anywhere at one time. So we try to help each other out. And, oh, you're closer, can you handle this? And then we'll get there if they need help with something else. So we work hand in hand with those people.
So back to the teamwork.
Everything is teamwork, and even on the boats. So we're usually teamed up at least with a partner, sometimes two. But even doing, say, if I want to stop a boat, it's not like when a police officer pulls a car over on the side of the road, or they pull them over into a parking lot. Both cars are stopped. The police officer gets out of the boat and they walk up to the car, and then they have contact with them. Well, on a boat, I can't just pull over. The boat never stops moving. So we pull up to them. We actually have to physically tie up to them. So if I'm driving the boat, if I'm by myself, then I have to do everything. I have to pull up to them. Then I have to get all the lines attached and position everything just right, and then start talking to the person. Whereas when you have a partner, the boat driver can focus on driving the boat, and then our partners will help us tie up to the boat, and they can actually be talking and dealing with whatever you're dealing with, while the other person is actually, because on a traffic stop, the cars are stopped. Here we're constantly moving, and so if we're tied up to them in something, if we drift into it, don't want to drift into another boat, don't want to drift into a channel marker, don't want to get hit by something else. So the boat driver needs to focus on what they're doing, so everybody is safe, not just the officers, but also the people they're dealing with. So teamwork definitely comes into play, even more so on the boats.
Absolutely. Tell us about some of the marine life that you see when you're out here.
Well, I just saw it. He popped up while we were talking. There's a loggerhead turtle about this big that lives under the dock over there. I don't see him right now.
Does he have a name?
We haven't named him. We've been wanting to, but we haven't done that yet. But out here this is the intracoastal, and then we have the ocean. We're constantly seeing turtles. We see manatees. We see porpoises, dolphins all the time. We see quite a few sharks, and then all the other fish and birds and everything that goes along with it. In the fresh water, we see alligators and snakes and all the fun things that live there, which I'm not a big fan of alligators and snakes, but it's part of what we do. So
good work environment, good office
for
you.
It's always fun, yes.
Very good. So we spoke a little bit about the skills that were necessary and advice that you had for students. Is there any advice that you can give students when it comes to being safe on the water?
Well, first of all, there's not a tremendous, it's different from driving the car in the sense that there's not as many rules on the water as there are on cars. Currently, there is no, like, you need to have a driver's license to be able to drive a car, and you have to take a test. Whereas on the water currently, the only thing is if you're born after a certain date, you have to attend a boater safety class that just gives you the really few basics of what some of the rules are and how to be safe on the water. So my advice is, if you're going to plan on spending any time on the water, get with somebody that knows and maybe take a class. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary offers classes for boater safety, and it teaches you not only some of the rules, but all the different equipment that you're required to carry on a boat. And the equipment is there for the safety of the people on the boat. You need to make sure you know where all your safety equipment is. Like, an example would be, know where all your life jackets are, know where the throwable life preserver is, know where your fire extinguisher is, make sure you have a functioning fire extinguisher, and have a sound producing device. There's lots of little things that people take for granted. If you're going to go out in the ocean, you need to have flares. That's something that's commonly overlooked, is flares, and they expire after a period of time, and people forget to check the flares. And they give an example is, if you get in distress, or someone gets in distress and they need help, and it's in the evening or even during the day, they can shoot off a flare, and a lot of times someone will see it, and we will know approximately where you're at, and we can get to you in a very short amount of time. But then if you get in distress and you don't have any flares, and if you're out in the ocean and you can't see land and you're calling and if your phone still works and you're like, I have no idea where I'm at, we've actually searched for the boats in distress for hours, sometimes 10, 12 hours, or even longer, because we just don't, they have no idea where they're at, and the ocean is very large. We don't know where they're at, and so flares are a very important aspect of it. Know where your safety equipment is, know how it works, and make sure it's in good working order is my advice about boating in general. And then follow the rules that are out there. There's signs that tell you what you can and cannot do. Just make sure you understand what the sign says and what you can and cannot do.
So work hard, be a good person,
follow the rules,
and follow the rules.
And make sure you know where all your safety gear is.
Excellent. We want to thank you, Deputy Pollock, your entire team, and the Sheriff's Department for volunteering and being one of our speakers today. This has been really such a great experience, and what a great day on the water.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Can't wait to go out
Thank you. We are here wrapping up Junior Achievement Earth Week Career Speaker event. We are so thankful for our sponsors, including the Palm Beach International Boat Show Gives Back, Waste Management, and Keep Palm Beach County Beautiful. Tune in next year for another great Junior Achievement Earth Week.